What is happening, people? This is Sunday. It's July 2nd, and we're on our Sunday morning call where we open it up to the world and everything on it. But right now, we're actually streaming live on Austin Men's Development as well. And what I want to talk about here is what happens, the different mindsets that we get into when we're sexually active as opposed to not sexually active. And this is a problem. This is a massive problem. This right now is the biggest thing for me to be dealing with is a coach, because right now I actually have the coolest thing happening with TSL Online. With our TSL guys or our MD Excellence guys, there's a group of guys that are really getting a lot of success with women. They're getting laid. They're sexually active. They're exploring what that means to be sexually active and what it means to feel that way. And then there's another group just starting out. And this is a beautiful thing. This is one of those rare occasions that you really get the best of both worlds. So here's what I'm talking about. Let's say guy X, we'll call him Rob. He's racking up a lot of ladies. He's being sexual. He's getting in touch with his sexuality. And Rob starts saying stuff like, man, I really start to understand women. It's so great, like having this time in my life, the beauty of women, the just sense of being a man when I'm sexually active and so on and blah, 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 blah. And there's so much to it. Then there's this other side where let's say there's Steve, and Steve is not getting laid a lot. And Steve is going like, man, I want women. I want this. I want that. And you know, it's so frustrating and it hurts and it's painful. And I've done all this stuff, but I'm getting rejected and so on. The interesting thing about this is that what Steve here is listening to Rob and hearing him say is all judged and is all filtered and is all sought through. And he picks little things that Rob says. Like Rob here is talking about this beauty and sense and sexuality with women and that he just wants to fuck. And Rob may even say things like, oh my God, that girl's ass. I just want to see my dick in it and da 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 da. It's interesting what gets picked apart. Okay, what gets picked apart, what gets heard, what gets silenced, what gets selected, what gets judged, what gets basically said the better way to do things from Steve's angle. All right. This is something where you can't let happen. And this is why I always tell guys, it's like you are 10 lays away from getting to know women. And it's not just that, that's just a metaphor, but you are in a place where your sexual activity is what is keeping you from understanding women, because you're distorted right now. I mean, I hate to say it. If you are not sexually active, your number one thing is that you need to get sexually active. You have to, because if you don't, then it's all a myth. It's all a story. And that story is filtered. Let's say in Steve's situation, it is filtered by your insecurities, why you fail, why other people are getting results, the things which are so far from reality. And think about anything that you've done to actually accomplish something in life. Anything that you've done would be something along the lines of, like, let's say you start a business, let's say you excel at your work, let's say you get in shape, but whatever it is that you are good at doing, what did you think made success in that before you actually, got success? It was BS. It was great. It inspired you. You need to get there, but man, you got to get to work. You got to get to work so that you could have this conversation that Rob's having. The conversation that Rob's having is amazing. This is something that partially I'm writing this because I saw something on the Ars Amorata board, and it probably piss them off or me. Well, it pissed me off if they made videos about my board on Austin Men's Development. But Ars Amorata is a great community and great group. And this is their free group. So there's going to be free group problems, just like we have it with AMD. There's guys that really know it. And then there's guys that don't. And there's guys that don't, that aren't investing in themselves. They sit around and complain. But there's a dude, he's talking about, man, there's so much posturing bullshit on these boards. They're good ones. The Ars Amorata board is a good one. The Man Up board with David Tien is a good one. But there's so much bullshit. You can tell. You can smell it so clearly that these guys don't know shit about women, yet they're writing about it. But to the guy like Steve, he doesn't know any better because he doesn't have those 10 lays. He doesn't have that experience with women. He doesn't know women in those ways. And so it looks through this weird filter. And you hear these guys going like, man, I read one the other day of I'm pretty established and top of my game and people like me. And so this chick comes to me and she's got all these problems and, she wants to fuck me. What do I do to get her to, I'm trying to decide with myself if I want that in my life. To me, it's like night and day. It's like this chick has a lot of problems and you're such a great guy. You're gonna settle for her? Like, it doesn't make any sense, man. This is shit that guys who don't get laid say. Or if they do get laid, they don't know women. This is shit that guys who are so caught up with sex or their sexuality or expression or success, meaning that they're finally a complete man, they're a real boy. Okay, fucking Pinocchio, you got your fucking little red wings or whatever you want to say, and now you can go out into the world and not feel shame when you fucking walk around because you have like a necklace of pussy around you. Man, that's not it. The reason why we fuck, guys, the reason why we are sexually active is because it feels good, man. It completes us. That's all it takes. It doesn't complete us because we gossip to our friends. It completes us because we are able to understand women. We know our value. We know our value when we're in between the legs of somebody. In fact, I was asking a girl last night, I said, what's your favorite position? She was really like wasted. It was just kind of like a weird demonstration of what I was teaching, but I was just like, what's your favorite position? I'm pulling her, into me and all this sort of stuff. And she goes, missionary. And I said, missionary, because you like to be fucking dominated by a man. That's when you feel most like a woman, right? And so that's really cool to say that. But guess what? When I'm fucking a chick and when I'm in between her legs and when I'm giving it my all the shit that guys talk about, all the shit that the Steve character who doesn't get laid goes, man, I wish that was me and finally I'm going to be dominant. I'm not thinking dominant. The Rob character, the me character isn't thinking dominant. I'm thinking that that's what makes me a man. That in that moment, in between her legs, I go through something that is very different. There was another thing that was posted on the Ars Amorata board, basically saying, like money and status, like who says those don't, like, man, fuck, Jesus Christ. God, there's so much talk about pickup. There's so much talk about like, how women are pre-selected, all these fucking red pill bitches, like these PUA fucking bitches. Don't be that, right? These guys that say that they have women figured out, but you don't have any pussy, man. Let me tell you something. I get that, if you're bright, shiny, and flashy, people look at you. But you call that a lifestyle? I get that if you have something that everybody else doesn't have, it makes you unique. But do you think that's really what makes you unique? Is that what you're going to make your life? Is that what you've made your life? Is that what you've turned sexuality or relationships or your closeness with friendships? Is that in the person that says yes to that, the person that actually says yes, okay, money and status is great, and you can have, like, I'm all for you getting money and status. Please get it, and if you have it, use it. Like, use that to your advantage. But if you think that you have suppressed your natural urges to connect with somebody for money and status, the person who says yes to that is somebody who got shit on their life because every time they took a chance to show them, they got fucked. So we look at all these different things that aren't going to threaten us that we can control or whatever and all this sort of stuff, man. It's so wrong. Look, I mean, every guy that I know that's good with women, every guy has been good with women when he's poor or when he has stuff. And sometimes he never gets to that has stuff part, right? And every guy that I know that's good with women is good with women, especially once he connects with them. It's not about the money and status, right? And if that keeps him around, you're going to have a dysfunctional relationship, okay? Once he connects with them and builds that connection, it's not about the superficialities about what other people say. It's not about the social proof. It's not about the pre-selection. It's not about those things. We are wired for connection. You are throwing away, all you evolutionary scientist motherfuckers are so fucking dumb that you are throwing away our biggest asset, that connection is necessary for human survival, that community was how we evolved, that we evolved in bands and tribes, and we had to get to know each other. And if we didn't, we died off. If we were alone, we died off. We all think we'd rather be alone, than not have the things that make us look good, right? This is like kind of the anthem of the millennial modern day society, or whatever you want to call it, right? But the thing is that is not natural for us. We were wired to connect first. And then the hierarchy of connection, and even like class and I mean, God, anyway, whatever. For hundreds of thousands of years, for the majority, the vast majority, the 0.99, or I'm sorry, the 99%, 0.97% of our evolution was without status, without hierarchy, without an ability for somebody to choose between different classes and rankings of somebody. That didn't exist. It was a moment. It was a flash. It was who was available around you to talk to you. In any case, that all being said, let's get this right. The closer you are to connect to somebody, the more you actually talk to them, the more you actually connect, the more you share yourself, the less superficiality means something, and the more that connection means something. You know, I wrote on this thread that I was 5'8". I'm actually 5'7¾". I was officially measured, and my wife is 6 feet tall. And they were like, "But you must have a big personality." I guess. Fuck, man, I don't know. Some people say I do. I guess you could say that. But I never thought that I had a fucked personality to begin with that needed so much help that I needed to compensate in some sort of way that made me a better person. I never even thought about it. You know, I actually never thought I was short until I moved to Texas and people started telling me I was short. It was like a huge, huge thing of it all. In any case, look, your life right now, so many guys' life with women, they're this dude that hasn't gotten any pussy, or that's gotten pussy but hasn't had a connection. And then there's this other dude that has had those things. And it's a very different discussion. Stop having the discussion of desperation, of fucking wanting to control people, wanting to like compensate and compromise yourself just so you get a result. Stop having that. It's not about that. Get your lays, get your success, get your sex with people. Stop making it about the hot chicks. Stop making it about the girls that are going to give you status and make you happy. You don't fucking know what that is. You need to get laid. You need to be in between some legs. You need to know what it's like to be humbled in that way and let yourself do it, and stop living in this scarcity mindset and this fear of, oh my God, what happens if this happens, or I'm going to fuck up, or blah, 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 blah. You don't know. You do not know. And let's start having the discussion that many years ago I longed for from guys like Zan. You know, that's the saddest thing to see on the Ars Amorata board, because Zan was one of those guys that actually said, sex was beauty, sex was more than this, but it included all this other fucking stuff too. In any case, I'm back on the Sunday call. We're getting on to it, and see you later, Austin Men's Development guys. And if you listen to this on the Daily Awesome podcast or the TSL podcast, go ahead and subscribe. Click the free stuff link down below. That will get you interactive on our free boards or our free PDFs, which are made to work. I mean, we produce stuff so that it gets you results, not so that it's just like some lead magnet for things. Of course, it serves as that as well, but be a part of something. Be a part of it, man. Make it work in your life. It will. People have before you. We're very careful about what we put out, right? It's not slop. So go out there, get it, and have a good Sunday or Monday or wherever the day is you're listening to this around the world. I'll talk to you later.